Well, we're here in the what is a museum display in the McManus, and the reason we're here is to talk about this very interesting little sculpture here behind me, which is a small-scale model or maquette for a sculpture in the High Street made by Alastair Smart. The reason I want to talk about this is it's a really good example of a really important project called the Dundee Public Art Programme. Dundee has had public art for many, many years. In fact, surrounding this building, there are various fine examples of Victorian statues. But it was really in the 1980s that the city adopted a much more revolutionary approach to public art. And that took place in the Blackness area, which had been the most strongly industrial part of the city, huge number of jute mills based there, and of course one by one they'd all closed down. The area was really derelict, businesses were leaving, people were moving out. And the government initiated a major project. They designated it as Scotland's first industrial improvement area with a huge amount of money to spend on it, improving the area for new businesses. The reason that art became involved in that was thanks to a lady called Liz Kemp, who is Assistant Curator of Art here in this building. And she was really keen in the idea of taking art out into the community. And this basically was a really revolutionary approach to public art. Rather than just plonking down some sculptures or painting some murals, the artists were actually working in collaboration with the planners, with the architects, with the engineers, with the businesses and with the local residents to create this holistic approach to improving the area as part of the wider economic regeneration of the city. This marked the beginning of the local council investing in culture-led regeneration. So if you think of all the things that have happened in the city since then, the Seagate Gallery, the Discovery coming back to the city, the DCA, Verdant Works, and on to more recent things, the regeneration of this building, of course, and the V&A. All of that really began with that pioneering public art programme in Blackness. And one of the artists involved in that was Alastair Smart, who created this maquette. Smart was born in 1937. He studied at Gray's in Aberdeen. And he came to Dundee to teach sculpture at Duncan of Jordanson, was here for nearly 30 years, hugely popular, much loved tutor. And for the Blackness programme, he created a wonderful sculpture featuring giant whale's teeth inscribed with kind of scrimshaw-like decoration showing various scenes from Dundee's history. Now, the Blackness project was so successful that it was then extended to become the Dundee City Public Art Programme, the very first citywide programme of public art in Scotland. One of the key areas that they tackled was Murraygate. This was the first part of the city centre to be pedestrianised, and they created various artworks around there. But really the kind of signature piece was to be a large-scale sculpture of a dragon. Now, dragons play an important role in Dundee. There are two dragons in the city's coat of arms. And Alastair Smart won the commission to design this sculpture. He came up with this maquette, but then very sadly, at a very early age of just 55, he died. Much missed figure, a real tragedy. But thankfully, one of his former students, Tony Morrow, with the support of Alastair's family, then took on the commission, and he took the sculpture through, and we'll go and have a look at it now. And this is the final version, so this is what Tony came up with. As you'll see, there's a few changes to the design. He's made the wings a bit bigger, he's sort of given him more of a snout, a bit of a slightly more evil look, I think, about him. But otherwise, it's the same basic design that Alastair came up with. It was eventually installed further down the road, actually, on Murraygate in 1992. It ended up getting moved across the other side of Commercial Street here to the High Street 2 years after that. And of course it's become one of the most popular sculptures on Dundee. We regularly see kids climbing on it and that kind of thing. And in fact, interestingly, there are various other pieces of public art that depict dragons around the city, all of which have grown up because of the popularity of this one. So this is just one of many pieces of public art around the city. There's over 500 now, sculptures, murals, mosaics and various other things. And currently in the Lamb Gallery at the University of Dundee, we have an exhibition called Art for All, which tells this extraordinary story with lots of behind the scenes photos, design sketches, models and various other things that really bring this extraordinary story to light. And that's on until 26th of October, and I very much hope that you'll come along and see it.